यदग्रे दृश्यन्ते
दशशरफलाः पादयुगलीन खाग्रच्छद्मानः
नकाग्रच्छद्मानः
सुरमकुटशाणैकनिशिताः
सुरमकुटशाणैकनिशिताः
ओम अविद्यानामन्तस्तिमिरमिहिरद्वीपनगरी जडानां चैतन्यस्तवगमकरन्दश्रुतिझरी दरिद्राणां चिन्तामणिगुणनिका जन्मजलधौ निमग्नानां दंष्ट्रामुररिपुवराहस्य भवति भवानि त्वं दासे मयि वितरदृष्टिं सकरुणां यदि स्तोतुं वाञ्छन् कथयति भवानि त्वं इति यः My humble prostrations unto the lotus feet of Amma. My pranams to everyone who are present here. The 83rd sloka of Saundar Lahari is this. Parajayitum Rudran Driguna Saragarbhau Girisute Nishangau Janghete Vishama Vishikho Badham Akrita Yadagre Drishante Dasha Sarabhalaha Padayugali Nakhagra Chadmana Suramakuta Shanaika Nishithaha. This sloka. He is calling her Girisuta. I'll tell the brief meaning and then explain it further. Here afterwards, the lotus feet of mother is described. After describing every other aspect of Devi, now we are guided by Shankaracharya to meditate upon the lotus feet of mother. This is describing the beauty of the nails of mother in her feet, holy feet. Hey Girisute, O daughter of the mountains, the Manmadha who has got 5 arrows, Pushpabanas, he has doubled it because he was doubtful whether he will win over Lord Shiva. And to put his arrows in a case or a box, he wanted a case, arrow case. He chose your legs, beautiful legs. The Devas also chose your nails to rub their kirita or the crowns. Your nails are sharpened by their crowns. They always prostrate and their crowns rub your nails and then that becomes smooth and sharp. It looks like the arrows of the Manmatha, which is sharpened by the crowns of Devas, is the comparison. Her beautiful nails and the Jangha Pradesha or below knee, that place is compared here. Hey Girisute, O mother of mountains, Vishama Vishika, it's the name of Manmatha. Rudram Parajetum, he wanted to defeat Rudra. Dviguna Saragarbhav, he doubled his saras or the arrows. Te Janghe Akrita, he made your Jangha as his cover, case for his arrows. Bottom, this is sure. Yadagre padayugalina khagrachadmana. In the end, there are some nails seen, 10 nails of Devi seen. Suramakuta Shanaika Nishithaha. They are being rubbed well and made smooth by the crowns of Devas. Drishyante. Devi's holy feet below knee is looking like the case or the box for keeping the arrows of Manmatha. In the end, there are 10 nails seen, which are shining. They look like the box for keeping the arrows of Manmatha, who wanted to win over Rudra. He was doubtful, so he doubled the number of his arrows. And the nails are so smooth and sharp, which are sharpened by the crowns of Devas. They always prostrate and rub there, because the crowns rub Devi Samma's nails. They are very sharp. They are shining. The same thing is told in Lalita Sahasranama. So Indra Gopa Parikshipta Smara Tunapa Jangika. Smara means Manmatha. Tunabam Jangika means the Janga Pradesha is like the case in which the arrows are kept. They are defeating the shines of Indragopa, or a precious gem. Because of the beauty of her legs, even the Rudra was defeated. Hence, there is no need to further describe the beauty of her legs. There are 10 nails which are shining. Her legs are so beautiful. There's a story in Aitihya Mala, which is a book in Kerala. I'll briefly tell about that. There was a Nambudri, or a Brahmin boy, who learned the Vedas in a wrong way. And he was married to a woman, and all his relatives, they didn't like him. They sent him out from the house, and he was abandoned by the house. He became homeless, he became an orphan, and he wandered and went into a forest. He went deep inside the forest. He didn't know where he was going. He was abandoned by his family, so he had no other support. He went into the forest and then found a hermitage of a rishi. It was almost night, so rishi received him nicely. He spoke him nice words, and then he offered him a place to stay. He understood his story. Then he was left. He was abandoned by his family. He gave him ashraya. He gave him solace. He said, "You can stay in my ashram. There is no problem for you. I will protect you. I will help you to come out of your difficulty." And he offered a place to sleep, and food was offered to him. And the Nambudri boy was happy, and later on he served him and stayed in the. He has not learned it correctly, so he asked him to chant the Vedas into the ears of a cow, and he forgot whatever the wrong methods he learned by the grace of his guru, and then he learned the Vedas properly. And years rolled by, and the disciple understood that the Rishi does not sleep in the night time. I'm briefing the story, I'm not going into the details. This is in the Aitihya Mala. The Rishi does not sleep in the night. Some people are visiting him during the night also. And he observed and watched during one night and understood that Devas come there. On that night, the Devas are inviting him for a program in Kailasa, where a huge festival was happening. And the Rishi was invited, and he agreed to go there on that particular day. The next day morning, the disciple came and told whatever that happened, that he happened to see the Devas during the night. He also wanted to join him for the festival in the Kailasa. The Rishi said that you are not fit enough to come with me to Kailasa. But the disciple had so much desire that he begged again and again to go to Kailasa along with the Rishi for the particular festival. So Rishi agreed that he put some conditions for him to accompany him. He should never, he should keep his head bent. He must only look at the earth, never raise his head. He must always keep hold of the fingers of the Rishi so that he becomes invisible to others. So some conditions he put. And the disciple agreed because he wanted to go to Kailasa and see what is happening there. So the day arrived, and the Rishi and the disciple went to Kailasa. The disciple, as instructed by the Guru, was holding the fingers of the Guru. He kept his head bent below, bent down. He was invisible for others. And it was a great festival in Kailasa. Lord Mahavishnu himself was receiving them in the entrance. There were Veda Ghoshas, Shankanadas, musical programs, dance programs, Nadasarve Ghoshas. Sumptuous food was served. The disciple also had a lunch. Lord Mahavishnu was serving. Lord Parameswara himself was inquiring. And Parvati came there. And her beautiful feet was seen by this disciple. It was so beautiful, so attractive. He saw the nails, he saw the foot, he saw her Jangha Pradesha, Uru. It was so attractive that he could not resist his temptation. And he raised his head. Immediately he became visible, and he was kicked by Nandi, who was standing nearby. That some uninvited guest has come there, and he was kicked. And he fell down because he saw the lotus feet of Devi. He saw that beautiful feet of Devi. This became a Siddha. This person became a Siddha and a great doctor, an Ayurvedic doctor who became very famous. He fell into a pond, and next day some people came there and saved him. And he became a famous doctor. All this happened because a person who was abandoned by the family, who was thrown out of the house, now became a very famous doctor. This happened because of the grace of Mother. This happened because he happened to see the beautiful lotus feet of Mother and her nails. This is the story in the Aitihya Mala. Similarly, here Parajayatum Rudram Dviguna Saragarbhau Girisute Nishango Jangete Vishama Vishiko Badhamakrita Yadagre Drishyante Dasha Sharabhalaha Padayugali Nakhagra Chadmana Suram Mukuta Shanaika Nishitaha. There are 10 nails which are polished by the crowns of devas. The jangha, or the portion below the knee, is looking like a box to keep the Manmatha's banas. Smarat Unava Jangika, it is told. It is even winning over the beauty of Indragopa Mani, or a precious jewel. So it is the content of this particular sloka. So you can read the 84th sloka.
Yes, Swamiji.
मूर्धानो
श्रुतीनामूर्धानु
दधति तव यौ शेखरतया
दधति तमयो शेखरतया
ममाप्येतौ मातः
ममापेतौ मातः
शिरसि दयया धेहि चरणम्
शिरसि दयया देहि चरणम्
ययोः पाद्यं पाथः
ययोपाद्यं पादं
पशुपतिजटाजूटतटिनी
पशुपतिजटाजूटतटिनी
ययोर्लाक्षा लक्ष्मीः
ययोर्लक्षालक्ष्मीः
अरुणहरिचूडामणिरुचिः
अरुणहरिचूडामणिरुचिः
न
Srutinam Murdhano Dadhati Tavayau Shekharataya Mamapyetau Matah Shirasi Dayaya Dehi Charanam Yayoho Padyam Patha Pashupati Jatajuta Tatini Yayoho Laksha Lakshmi Arunahari Chudamani Ruchi. This is again the sloka which describes the beauty of the lotus feet of Mother. Hey Mataha, O Mother, please place your lotus feet which are the Sutina Murdhana, which are the ornaments, highest point in the Upanishads. Yayoho Padyam Patha Pashupati Jata Jutatarni. It is washed by the holy Ganges, which is on the head of Lord Shiva, because sometimes he prostrates unto your lotus feet, and the Ganga happens to fall on that. It's flowing from Shiva's head. Your feet is being washed by the Ganga water, which is flowing from Shiva's head. That's a liquid which is adorning, which is being painted on your legs. Laksharasa, red color liquid, is painted on your lotus feet. It's looking red because the crown of Lord Vishnu is reflecting on that. Please place that on my head mercifully. Shirasi Dayaya Dehi Charano. Please place your holy feet with daya, with mercy. It's a prayer. This is a prarthana sloka. It can be repeated by all. Srutinam Murdhana Dadhati Tavayau Shekharataya Mamapyeto Mata Shirasi Daya Dehi Charnam Yayoho Padyam Pathaha Pashupati Jada Jhuta Jatini Yayoho Lakshalakshmi Arunahari Chudamani Ruchihi. Hey Mataha, O mother. Tavayav Charanau, the lotus feet of yours. Sudhina Murdhana, they are called as the Veda Upanishad Ratnas. They are at the top of the Upanishads, which are the highest philosophy that can be expressed by anybody. They are the Shirobhushanas. They are the ornaments in the head or in the crown of Upanishads. They are the crown of the Upanishads. Dadati Yetau. The Upanishads hold your feet as the highest point. Those lotus feet must be placed on me, on my head. Eto mama sharasi api dayaya dehi. Mercifully, please keep them on my head. Let my head be fortunate enough to hold your lotus feet. Please place them mercifully on my head. Yayoho padyam pata Pashupati Jata Jodajatani. Pashupati Jata, the hair locks of Lord Shiva, has Ganga, and that water flows. Padyam Patha, your lotus feet is washed by the Ganga, which is flowing from the head of Lord Shiva. He also prostrates upon you. Yayoho Lakshalakshmihi, the red liquid that is decorating your feet is nothing but the crown of Mahavishnu, who is also prostrating upon your feet, is the content of the sloka. Vedanta is the highest philosophy, so it's called as the Shruti Siras. They speak about the lotus feet of Mother. They speak the highest philosophy. The greatest principle on earth is the lotus feet of Mother. Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu also prostrate upon her. That is the reason why the water from Lord Shiva's head is flowing through the lotus feet of Mother. It is looking reddish because the red diamonds, the red gems of Mahavishnu's Kirita is reflecting upon the lotus feet of Mother. The same thing is told in Lalita Sahasranama, Shruti Simanta Sindurika Padabdi Dhulika. The Shruti Matas or the Vedas are standing near Mother. They are prostrating upon the lotus feet of Mother. In their forehead, in the hairlines, in between the hairlines, Mother's Sindura, Mother's Laksharasa in her feet is seen. It is like the Sindura in the heads of the Trivedas. Because they have just now prostrated, and some Laksharasa, which was in the lotus feet of Mother, has just smeared, is there on the forehead of the Shruti Matas. Is the description in Lalita Sahasranama. Shruti Simanda Sindurikata Padabja Dhulika. The Padabja Dhuli, the dust of the lotus feet of Mother, is the Simanta or the reddish mark, vermilion mark on the Shruti Matas is the comparison. So the Vedas praise Mother. There are many stotras, Namo Devi, Mahalakshmi, Siddhai Namo Namaha, Brahma Vishnu Maheshayai, Vedagaihi Pujitangraye. All the Vedas worship her. Every day Mahavishnu comes and prostrates before Devi. The diamonds on his head is reflecting upon the lotus feet of Mother. Parameshwara also prostrates sometimes due to pranaya kalaha, or sometimes due to respect, he prostrates. So Shankaracharya prays that the same lotus feet which is worshipped by Vishnu and Shiva should be placed on his head also with the compassion is the prayer. So that is the content of this particular sloka. So we can pray the next sloka.
Okay, Swamiji.
Ovakam brumo
Namo Vambramo
Nayana Ramaniyaya Padayoho
Nayanamaniya Padayo
Vasmai Dvandvaya
Vasmai Dvandvaya
Sputaruchirasalaktakamate
Ruchirasaraktatavate
Asuyatyantam
Asuyatyantam
Yadabhihananaya Spruhayate
Yadabhinanaya Spruhayate
Pashunamishanaha
Vashunam Nishanaha
Pramadavanakankelitaravi
Vamanavam Kelitadare
Namo Vakam Brumo Nayana Ramaniyaya Padayoho Tavasmai Dvandvaya Sputaruchirasa Alaktakavate Asuyati Atyantam Yada Bhaninaya Sprahayate Pasunam Ishana Pramadavana Kankeli Tarave. This is another sloka which is describing the greatness of the lotus feet of Mother. Namo Vakam Brumaha. We are all telling our prostrations loudly. Namo Vakam, Namo Vakam, Namo Namaha, like that. We prostrate under the lotus feet of Mother. Your two feet are sparkling, shining. Nayana Ramaniyaya Padayoho, are very beautiful to the eyes. They are painted with red juice. Sometimes you kick the Kankeli Tarus, the Ashoka Vrikshas, in your garden, because it is told poetically that only if the lotus feet of Mother touches the Kankeli Vriksha, they will flower. Otherwise, they will not flower. So, playfully, Mother kicks them and they blossom. They give their flowers. By seeing this, the Lord Shiva becomes jealous. The Mother is kicking the Kankeli Vrikshas, the Ashoka Vrikshas, but I am unable to get the touch of her lotus feet. So he becomes jealous, is the content of this particular sloka in brief. Namo Vakam Brahma, He Bhagavati, O Mother. Te, yours, Nayana Ramaniyaya. Your lotus feet are so beautiful. Nayana Ramaniya. They please my eyes so much. Sputa Ruchirasa Alaktakavate. They are shining. They are with Alaktakarasa, reddish liquid. It is smeared by reddish liquids. Namo Vakam Brumaha. we are telling Namo Namaha. We are telling the Namo Vakam. Yada Abhihananaya, to get the touch. Pramadavana Kankeli Tarave, Pasunam Ishana, Atyantam Asuyati. Because you kick the Kankeli Tarus or the Ashoka Vrikshas in your garden, Pasunam Ishana, the Lord Shiva, who is the Lord of the entire Jivas, Pasus, he become jealous, Astyantam Asuyati, extremely jealous. He becomes extremely jealous because you kicked the Kankeli Tarus and did not kick him. He did not get the touch of your lotus feet, is the content of the sloka. Namo Vakam Brumo, Nayana Ramaniyaya Padayo, Tavasmai Dundvaya, Sputaruchi Rasa Alaktakavate, Asuyati Atyantam Yad Abhayananaya Sprihayate, Pashunam Ishana Pramadavana Kankeli Tarave. Because in the Pranaya Kalaha, sometimes Devi kicks Lord Shiva. Or sometimes with respect also Lord Shiva prostrates and touches the Devi's feet. It is told that the Kankeli Tarus or the Ashoka Vrikshas do not flower unless touched by the feet of Uttama Jati Stris, highest chaste woman. So this is the nature of that particular tree, but it is imagined by Lord Shiva that because Devi touched them, they became happy and they flowered. So he becomes jealous of those particular trees. They are able to get the touch of Devi's lotus feet. I am not able to get. This is an extreme imagination by Lord Shankaracharya. Talks about the greatness of the lotus feet of Mother. Lord Shiva also is craving to have the touch of the lotus feet of Mother, is the content of this sloka. So we can read the next sloka,
Okay, Swamiji.
86.
कृत्वा गोत्रस्खलनमथ वैलक्ष्यनमितम्
वृषा कृत्वा गोत्रस्खलनमथवैरक्ष्यनमितम्
ललाटे भर्तारम्
ललाटे भर्तारम्
चरणकमले ताडयति ते
चरणकमले ताडयति ते
चिरादन्तः शल्यम्
चिरान्तशल्यम्
दहनकृतमुन्मूलितवता
दहनकृतमुन्मूलितवता
तुलाकोटिक्वाणैः
पुराकोटिक्वाणैः
किलिकिलितमीशानरिपुः
किरीटिगमीशानरिपुना
हिमा
Mashakritva Gotraskhalanam Atha Vailakshyanamidam Lalate Bhartaram Charanakamale Tadayati Te Chirad Antashalyam Dahanagritam Unmulitavata Tula Kotikwanehi Kilikilitam Ishanaripuna. Somebody becomes very happy when Lord Shiva is being kicked by your lotus feet. He is none other than the Manmatha. He becomes happy because he is kicked by the lotus feet of Mother. The Lord Shiva is being kicked by the lotus feet of Mother. In a playful mode, this happens. Lord Shiva teases mother by calling her by some other name. Gotra Skhalanam, the name is being misspelled. Devi becomes angry. She kicks him. He calls her in a different Gotra, a wrong family name he calls. And Devi loses control and she becomes angry. She kicks Lord Shiva. To appease you, to make you happy again, Lord Shiva prostrates upon your lotus feet and touches your lotus feet with his forehead, which is a sign of surrender, total surrender. This happens. Your enemy, the Manmatha, who was burnt by Lord Shiva, becomes happy. Manmatha was burnt by the third eye of Lord Shiva. He was a little bit annoyed. He was angry with Lord Shiva. Now he becomes happy. He makes a sound. No, he became angry. He became happy because you were moving your feet and there was some sound from your anklets. And Manmatha happened to see because of that sound. He turned his attention and he found that Lord Shiva is prostrating before you because he spelt the name of your Gotra, the family name, wrongly, and you became angry. You touched him with your lotus feet, and he also surrendered unto your lotus feet. There was some sound from your anklets. Those sounds are seemingly telling that you have won over your Lord Shiva, for which the Manmatha became very happy because he was burnt down by Lord Shiva, is the content of the sloka. Hey Bhagavati, O Mother, Mrisha, playfully, not with purpose. Gotra Skhalanam, your family name was wrongly spelled. Adav Ailakshanamidam, because you became angry, you became different. Lalate Bhartaram, Charanakamale Tadayatite, you are kicking your husband with your feet, Charanakamale. When your holy feet is kicking your husband, your anklets are making some sound. Kilikilitam Ishanaripana. There was some sound, Kilikila sound. Ishanaripu, or the Shivashatru, or the Manmatha, became happy. Dahanakritam, because he was burnt. Antashalyam, there was some pain. There was a foreign body. Shalya means some thorn in the flesh. Tula Koti Kwanehi. That was removed by Manmatha because he became happy. Because it's like a small story. At one point, on a day, Lord Shiva came to the abode of Devi. He wanted to play with Devi. He called Devi in a different name. She doesn't like, purposefully, in a playful mood. So Devi also knows it. She became seemingly angry. She was acting as if she was angry and kicked her husband on his forehead. There were some sounds by the anklets of the mother. The Manmatha became happy because he was burnt down by Lord Shiva. Now that Lord Shiva is being kicked by her wife. As if it is a Jaya Shabda, it, it makes it indicates the defeat of Lord Shiva and the success of Devi. Because she became angry, Lord Shiva did not have any other go but to surrender to her. According to the normal human values, it is wrong to touch the feet of wife. Husband is somewhat superior. Here the opposite happens. The husband surrenders to the wife. There were a long-standing enmity between Manmatha and Lord Shiva. Because Manmatha was burnt into ashes by Lord Shiva. So now, because Shiva was defeated, Manmatha became very happy. Because Shiva was insulted by Devi by kicking him. Her nupuras or the anklets are making sound, kilikila shabdas. That is as if indicating the success story of Devi. Antashalya or the inner pain that was there in the mind of Manmatha was removed. The inner pain was there for a very long time. Chirad Antashalyam. It was there for a very long time. Now that is being removed. Is the content of the sloka. Mashakatva Gotraskhalanam Atha Vailakshanamidam Lalate Bhartaram Charanakamale Tadayatite Chirad Antashalyam Dahanakritam Unmulitavataha Tudakotikvanahi Kalikilitam Ishana Ripuna is the content of the sloka. You can play the next sloka.
Okay, Swamiji.
Ani hantavyam
Imam Vihantavyam
himagiri nivasaika chaturau
Himagiri Nivasai Pachaturam
nishayam nidranam
Nishaya Nidranam
nishicharamabhage cha vishadau
Nishitaramabhage Cha Vishadam
varam lakshmi patram
Lakshmi Patram
श्रियमति सृजन्तौ समयिनाम्
Shriyamati Srijantam Samayinam
रोजं त्वत्पादौ
Sarojam Tatpadam
जननि जयतश्चित्रमिह किम्
Janani Jayataschitramihapim
वदन्ते
Himani Hantavyam Himagiri Nivasaika Chaturau Nishayam Nidranam Nishicharamabhage Vishadau Varam Lakshmi Patram Sriyam Ati Srijantau Samayinam Sarojam Tadpadau Janani Jayatas Chitra Mihakim. O Janani, O Mother. There is a comparison. Generally, people compare the feet of Devi with that of the lotus. But how it can be compared is the question in this particular sloka. There are many differences that is being told by this in this sloka. The lotus flower gets rotten in the Hima or in the snow. But your feet is an expert because you always walk in the Himagiri Nivasa. You are very fond of Himalayan mountains. You are very fond of the snow mountains of Himalayas. The lotus flower does not blossom in the night, it sleeps at the night. Your feet is never sleeping, it is always in a wakeful state. You bless your devotees day and night. There is no night for you. Varam Lakshmi Vatram. Sometimes Lakshmi stays there. That is why the lotus feet is considered great. But when Lakshmi is not there, the lotus is not considered great. But your feet, Sriyam Atisrijanto Samayinam, it is ever giving prosperity to her devotees. It does not depend upon Lakshmi to give prosperity to others. So, your feet and the lotus cannot be compared at all. Janani Jayatas Chitramahikam. What is so surprising about this? Is the question. There is nothing surprising. When people say that your lotus feet is greater than the lotus, of course it is so. There is nothing surprising. There are a few aspects because the lotus is considered great. But there are some defects in the lotus. Himani Hantavyam, He Janani. Your feet are Himagiri Nivasaika Chaturav. Your feet are experts in walking in the snow mountains, Himalayas. Nishij Aramabhageja Visadam, even the late night, your feet is always blossoming, your feet is always awake. Samayinam Atisrijantav, it is giving prosperity to your Samayis or those who worship you by Samayachara. How it can be compared with Himani Hantavyam, the lotus which is spoiled by cold climate. It becomes rotten. The original lotus feet is rotten by extremely cold climates. It doesn't grow in cold climates. Whereas your feet is fond of Himalayas. Varam Lakshmi Vatram. Only when Lakshmi is there, lotus is having some greatness, otherwise not. It sleeps during night. It is closed during night. Devi's feet is having no sandhya, no night, no day. All the time it is blessing her devotees. So the lotus cannot be compared with your feet because it is defeating the lotus in many ways, is the comparison in this particular sloka. Padadvaya Prabhajala Parakrita Saroruha is the name in Lalita Sahasranama. By the luster, by the glittering glow of your lotus feet, Parakrita Saroruha, your feet defeats the greatness of a lotus, is the meaning of that particular mantra. The same is explained by Shankaracharya with a few more examples. The lotus feet does not go in Himalayas. Your feet is an expert in walking in Himalayas. Sleeps. In the morning, the lotus blossoms. In the night, it closes. Whereas your feet has no sleep. It is ever blessing the devotees. The lotus is glorified because it is having Mahalakshmi as her seat. Whereas your feet is having Mahalakshmi all the time. Sometimes Mahalakshmi does not sit in lotus. Then it is losing its value. Your feet is never losing its value because it is giving prosperity to one and all every time, all the time, day and night and Sandhya, etc. So, in every way, your feet is greater than the lotus, is the meaning and content of this particular sloka. Himani Hantavyam. Dishayam Nidranam Param Lakshmi Patram Sarojam Tatpadav Jayata Chitramihagam. Your feet is defeating the greatness of lotus. What is so great about that? What is surprising about that? Is the content of this particular sloka. Himani Hantavyam Himagari Nivasaika Chadaro. Nishayam Nidram Yashi Charama Bhage Javashadam Param Lakshmi Patram Sriyam Atisijantav Samayinam Sarojam Tatpadav Janni Jayata Chitramihagam. Padadvaya Prabhajala Paragadharorha is the same meaning, has the same meaning of this particular sloka. That is the 87th sloka. In this, I conclude my class today. I offer these words to the lotus feet of Mother.
Okay, thank you, Swamiji. And my Pada Namaskaram to Swamiji on behalf of everyone. So our next class will be on next Friday. Now we can end this session with Chandi Mandram and Aarti.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। जय जय शिव दयिते हरिहर विरिञ्चनुत चरिते कारय मां कृतपुण्यं तव गुण गानरतं महिते तव गुण गानरतं महिते। सहस्रार कमले सततं विहररहसि धन्ये शिवाकार निजमञ्च विलसिते चिदानन्दमुदिते शरण्ये चिदानन्दमुदिते। भवानि मयि दासे दृष्टिं वितरते सकरुणाम् निज सायुज्य पदैकवितरणाम् निखिल दुःखतरणाम् ऐहिक निखिल दुःखतरणाम्। भवतु मे विलसितं सपर्या विरचनं तव शिवे समकर निपात हिमकर समान दृशा स्नपय कृपया मामपि दृशा स्नपय कृपया। अनेन धन्यमिमं मन्ये धरणिधर सुकन्ये तव स्तन्यमधुरास्वादन सुख निरस्तान्य विषयं कुरु मां निरस्तान्य विषयम्। त्वदीयमपि वचनं गदतो मदीयमिव वचनम् स्वकीयसलिलैः सागरतर्पण समं जननि विदितं सकलं समं जननि विदितम्। जय जय शिव दयिते हरिहर विरिञ्चनुत चरिते कारय मां कृतपुण्यं तव गुण गानरतं महिते तव गुण गानरतं महिते।